You are now listening to the Real Afro Unity podcast with our hosts, Daring and Ayo, where they'll be discussing various topics that affect our African diaspora. With these conversations, they aim to hopefully bridge the gap between us African Americans with the Nigerian diaspora. They will dismantle the myths and share a new perspective. Please sit back, relax, listen, and enjoy the conversation.
Welcome to the Real Afro Unity podcast, where we talk about topics and conversations that will help us unite immigrants to African Americans here in the diaspora. My name is Ayo OG, and we have our I have my co-host Darren here, and it's been a while since we've spoken. Just me and you. So what's going on, man?
I mean, like the last two episodes that
Right.
we've had to like bring in people to like. I know we
Right.
brought O2 Consulting,
Correct.
and we brought Shirley Moore,
Right.
talking about parenting and so on and so forth.
That's right.
And I felt like when I was thinking about today's idea, I felt we should take it back to how we started.
Exactly.
Just you and I,
Exactly.
sitting down in your fancy space, sitting down in your fancy space, chilling, you know,
Right.
discussing issues, issues that has led us here today.
Correct.
And, like the whole thing, the whole process, the everything we're trying to do, I feel like the topic of what we're going to be discussing today really boils down to the fact that sometimes people underestimate the value of mentors
Yeah, absolutely.
in their lives and role models. Let me put it that way.
Absolutely. Oh my
And
goodness.
I'm from Africa, You're from Africa too,
Right.
but our journey path has been different.
Different. Correct.
And I want this episode to like be more focused on you because you have experienced both sides of the continent. And
Right.
I just want to listen. I just want you to answer my curiosity,
Okay.
Like tell me your mind. Tell me
Right.
what you think the problem is.
Got it.
Let me tell you a quick story before I
Sure.
push the question.
It's a good way to start. So go ahead.
When I was going into the university, the most popular designers then in Nigeria
Mhm.
was Sean John.
So I'm trying.
Yeah.
Oh my
I know this one.
Yeah. John. Okay.
Yeah, I was Sean John.
Uh-huh.
So my parents gave me money, going to school, go do some
Something.
little shopping, get yourself some nice clothes. And I think the money they gave me, I could only buy maybe 2 or 3 shirts, polos, and just from the money they gave me alone. Not because the money was not enough, but because I wanted designers. And so even when I was still in school, someone now told me. So someone saw me one day, like today, it's Fubu, tomorrow, it's Sean John, the designers of those days,
Right. Yeah,
next
yeah,
is
yeah.
Tommy, your shoes are
Kelly.
blinging,
Yeah.
The person now called me, now said, I know you're trying to say your parents are rich or you're getting money one way or the other. I'm like, no, I'm not, He said, see, mostly where you're seeing these tops, these shirts, these t-shirts, they are music videos. And you're spending thousands of naira going to buy them. He said, do you know that these designers, the people putting it on, they're probably getting it for free or they're writing it at a cost to whatever they're doing. I'm not sure if they're putting it on every day like you are trying to do. And that was what we were trying to do. Every day we want to show up and just be there, We want to show up and and people look at you and it is fubu, It is Tommy.
Right,
It
right.
is like you're calling all the designers and, you're the big one.
Yeah.
And that really stuck with me, I started seeing things differently. I'm like, why am I trying to be like someone that is in a musical video? Where you saw it it doesn't mean that you cannot have designer
Nice
clothes.
things, right?
But it becomes a problem when you want to keep all you want to do is
It's-
just get these big designers and just roll with it.
Right, right.
So I want us to start from that aspect,
Okay.
and I want to tell you what was driving me then was majorly because I wanted to be like
Be part of the,
every other thing I was
be
saying.
accepted, right?
I want to ask you, in the US, is this also a problem?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what you described from, in my mind, is consumerism. Consumerism. They want to, everyone wants to spend their money, and they want to spend their money on their appearance because they want to be part of the 1%, or they want to be respected by people in their peers or people that are outside looking in. And it's strategic because a problem that persists here in the States is black African Americans in general want to feel a sense of worthiness. And so they think that buying all these designer is going to fill that void for them. When in reality, it's not. It was designed for you to think that way. You understand what I mean?
Yeah. And I get you. And basically back then, in Africa, we're much more influenced by the American culture. You know, there is no Afrobeat boom. And by the way, you know, we're starting the Afrotainment part of Afro Unity podcast.
Absolutely.
We're going to be talking about Afrobeat back then,
The throwbacks.
the throwbacks. What were the songs that were disturbing Africa back then?
You know, honestly, let me. I'm gonna tell it myself. So I actually thought that's what we were gonna talk about today. I'm gonna be honest. So on my drive here, I was playing some D'banj, some Timaya, some
just to make
nice,
sure you,
just
to
to
make
be,
sure, you know,
to
take you back to
exactly take me back to. And so I'm glad that we're gonna do it in another podcast because there's a lot of when I started listening to the songs today, I started to realize how much music there were back then.
And that is where I'm going to shock you, you know, because even when we're going to start this, to what I have, the band is not even in the first 10 episodes. I want to take you
Was
back.
that in no? You want to go before the band?
Yes.
The-
I want to
okay,
take you
so-
back to the first diss track in Afrobeat.
The first, okay, so then that's a history lesson, bro.
Yeah. that is what I want to
Okay.
see. I mean, we get to the bands of this
Okay,
world and
okay,
everything.
Okay.
But I want to take us back to how it, not really when it started, but how has it
The
like
stories
moved
behind
from where it was
Got it.
to where we are today.
Got it.
So there were some stories that when I tell you, you start laughing. You know, like. But anyway, don't let us.
Yeah.
Don't let us.
So
move
let's
to-
not digress.
Let's go back
Let's
to
come
what
back.
we're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. Okay.
So, the part of me that really wants to know, like, about mentorship and lack of role models, not lack of, but maybe people are not taking advantage of people that could be role models to them, or they're choosing wrongly, basically, is the fact that there seems to be this lack of father figure in most people's life in this country. Through my conversations, through my observations, doesn't mean that black Americans are not getting married. They are. They're staying married. They're like having lovely children. I'm not saying people that are from single parent homes don't make it in life. They do. However, I have benefited a lot from mentorship and role models that have helped me to like. I've had role models in bad stuffs before, you know. Like.
So this is not only the positive
No, he's not.
role
No.
model.
I've been doing bad stuffs before, and I had role models, and I would go to them for opinions and how I should do certain stuff, and it usually works.
The fact that he has a straight face as he tells this, that's where I'm shocked.
You're making me laugh now.
Like, yeah, I had,
Yeah,
they told me some bad things,
yeah,
but it worked.
and it worked. So
It was worth it.
so if I can use it for if I can use it for bad stuffs and they're working,
Definitely apply.
so I can apply it to good stuff too and they're
Okay,
working. And I
okay.
try at every stage of my life
Right.
pick someone knowingly or unknowingly that I can always talk to, run ideas through, just check with and make sure I'm not crazy, because so many things be going through my head
Sometimes you need that balance.
Yeah, so I just wanted a different opinion,
Got
a
it.
different view. And I would say I benefited from the fact that when I was growing up, I had a dad I could walk up to and talk to about anything. He will tell you his mind. I can tell him anything I wanted to. I had parents that were there and were ready to like guide you in anything you want to do. So I wasn't in those spaces of I can't talk to my mom about it because let me tell you something funny. When I was 21 years old, my mom just called me one day. She just said, "Where is your girlfriend? We've not seen anybody with you. I hope you're okay."
What?
I hope
Just
everything.
a random call.
Yes, not like a early morning.
Right.
My son see that kind of
Okay,
situation.
just.
And we get we normally gist like,
Mhm.
so who is your girlfriend?
What?
Like even through your teenage years, you start developing, all these silly feelings,
Right.
girls there and there,
Right.
trying to I was not one of those, even though I had a girlfriend. But I was just
Gentle.
chasing women wasn't my thing though. But I had girlfriends. I've had girlfriends. There.
Right.
But she just noticed that my other siblings,
They were more.
they were more like
active,
it was
right.
more like, hey, I don't go and impregnate anybody, But for me it was just like
Gentle.
I don't.
Wow.
It's okay. So she was getting worried. She was like, so
What's going on?
who is your girlfriend? Who are you dating? I'm like, why do you want to know? I'm like, no, I just want to know. Is everything okay? Don't worry, everything is okay. One day you meet her or something, So, but I don't want it to. And honestly speaking, I have so much I can say about
Yeah.
mentorship, but I don't want this to be for me. I want it to be you telling me
Okay.
what is the problem in the US, basically. Why do you think people are choosing? I'm not seeing any. There are a lot of black doctors, a lot of black lawyers, a lot of black people doing great stuff. Are they not mentoring people? Or is it that people just want to, everybody wants to be like Cardi B and
Okay,
And
so
Jay-Z.
here's how I'm going to answer your question. First of all, you pose a very interesting question. I have to give you credit. And it's an astute observation that you can see that there's a disalignment here versus in Africa where things are more facilitated a lot better. I think the problem is in two folds. First is that we are in this country, the entertainment industry is very, very big, and it has a big impact on how people think, not what they think about, but how they think. In this country, they form narratives. So, if you are a person that is plugged into media as it stands currently, where you're not the one picking out the stuff that you want to listen to, you just put on the news and you just consuming media like that, your way of thinking is going to be a certain type of way. And now mentorship has existed for years, but something that is different here is that there are platforms that will allow you to connect to a mentor, but you have to be the one to make the initiative.
Mm.
And if your brain is busy plugged into mainstream media, or you just consuming a whole bunch of entertainment and nothing that's productive, you're not even gonna have the thought of seeking a mentor. And so, in order to solve this problem, I think that the best thing to do is to get the kids when they're younger. You know, to pull a Disney. You know how Disney plays? I have a 3-year-old child. I have one that's turning 2 also. And when she was like 1.5, going on to 2, this is Sade. We, she was watching Miss Rachel.
Yeah, I know her.
You know Miss Rachel. And there was an episode of Miss Rachel, or a video of Miss Rachel, that she pretended to be Elsa from the Disney characters. It took her one time to sing the song, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. Since then, Sade has been singing the song over and over. Oh, Elsa. And then you know they have the advertisement, Elsa, Elsa. So I think our approach has to be getting the kids when they're young. Turning these mentors that we have into action figures or Disney characters or characters to at least give them an impression when they're young.
Mm.
This way they know that they can be more than a basketball player, a football player, a rapper, or some drug dealer. That's the type of media that these people consume. And so because this is the media that you consume, the thoughts that you're gonna have are gonna stem from this type of media. You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
And then as you grow older, and if you haven't changed anything, you're just gonna be stuck thinking the world is a certain way. And we have moved past that. There's podcasts now. There's YouTube channels. There are books that you can read. There are so many things that you can do now. And I think the way to address it is getting them when they're young, leaving an impression, give them something to aspire to, and the best mentor is a book.
Thank you. You know, so, like you were saying some few minutes ago that I probably changed the topic from what we're supposed to talk about today, and I did communicate it with you. To you rather, not that because I didn't want to. I guess it was much more of as I was coming, the crisis was just building. It has been there all along, And before we said camera on, switched up, I didn't even tell you.
Yeah.
So you just saw that I just
literally really
I just gave it to you boom, this is what we're going to be talking about.
Right.
So let me tell you what took me there. I know it's one of the topics that we've been discussing. But what took me there was when I was just telling you my story, I said I had my dad I could walk up to, and I can tell him anything, honestly speaking. Even though he's an African dad, he will still listen to me. My mom is an African mom, she will still listen to me, and they will still tell me whatever I needed to hear, good or bad. They tell me. They don't sugarcoat it. African parents, they just tell you the way it is. If you want to go kill yourself, well, it's okay. The mentorship and the role models starts from when you're young, just like you said. So as I was growing up, I saw my parents as someone I can go talk to and will help me fix my problems. In the US, most parents are not even living together. And I've noticed that kids are making the same mistakes their parents made.
Yes, absolutely.
I met a 32-year-old grandmother. I've never, I've told you before,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
I met someone, a 32 years old, 32, 36 years. I think she's 30, 32 years, 16,
Mid-30s.
32, yeah. Grandmother. That she got pregnant at the age of 18, at 16, and our daughter got pregnant at that same age. And she doesn't see anything wrong about it. She feels like
There's nothing wrong with
there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing really wrong with a 16-year-old having a child.
There is. Let's
No.
not.
When it comes to like having a child, it's okay. If that is when you think you're ready, if you think your life is all sorted, everything you need, you have it. You can start early. There is no problem. But if you don't have what it takes,
Then there's a problem.
then there's a problem. And we are the 60 years old that has everything figured out in this world.
Nobody. None.
So that is why I was thinking, and I know like there's so many people like like it's more like if you're a single mother, then your kids are gonna be single mother as well. Like if you're like if your dad was never in your life, then there's no reason for you to be in your life of the children. And I can see a lot of that happening, and people celebrate it. People feel like it gives me power. I'm not saying anything. See, can I raise my kids alone? Yes. Do I need help of them? 100%. Do I want to make sure my kids grow up in two-parent household? Yes. Do I think it's the best? Yes. Because I've experienced it. It doesn't mean that someone that wasn't brought up that way is not going to make it in life. Even I've seen people that are from two-parent household that have gone AY.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really. It's just the percentage when you start looking at it. What are the percentages of people that are doing well in this scenario to the percentages of people that are doing well in this other scenario? And I feel like everybody's just getting pregnant when they can.
Yeah. Well, think about the entertainment industry. You watch any video now, they're half naked.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean in a civilized world
I'm
you just get
11.
pregnant.
I'm 11 years old. Why do I see Cardi B half naked on YouTube?
Well, should we say it's our body?
It's about, but I'm saying that impression is you're leaving. These kids are 11, 12 years old. They're not even teenagers yet, but they can sing Sexy Red, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Ice Spice. Do you notice it's always females? All these people, Nicki Minaj, they target our young girls and over sexualize them too young. And when the parents are not in the house, they can't regulate what they watch, especially now with social media. So this impression is being introduced to you at an early age. Then you have your social group circle that is probably active.
Yeah.
Then they're telling their friends, "Hey, this is what I did. Oh, you should try." All of a sudden, you ended up doing the same thing, and boom, oops, I did it again. Like you think about it, that happens. I remember I told somebody, I actually told my wife, I said, yeah, I was 22 when I lost my virginity. She was like, what? I said, yeah, I was 22. Like, what's the problem? What? How?
What were you doing?
What were you doing?
Till 22.
Minding my bit. I was in boarding school. That's what I was. I was minding my business, facing my studies. But here, you guys are talking about head different conversations.
Please don't corrupt.
All these different conversations. When I came back to school in America, as you all know, you guys know, I did a little bit of my high school in Nigeria. So when I came back to America, this is when I got introduced to sex. Like, they were talking about head, doing this, train, running the train. I'm like, what the fuck? What am I in? What is happening here? Where are your parents? What's going on? The kids here are raising themselves. That's the part. That's the real truth. Because the parents have to work. And so the entertainment industry is really the one raising our kids. That's the bottom line. If you want to deny the fact, there's a group of people that want to do that. If you want to face the fact and make adjustments to your lifestyle so that you can be the ones to raise your kids, you can choose to do that too.
Interesting.
But we have to be honest on what the problem is. Our kids are heavily influenced by the entertainment industry. And parenting becomes difficult when you have to compete with something that's on 24/7, that they have access to at any time that they want. You know what I
So
mean?
you don't think single parenthood contributes to that?
It does, but I've also seen single parents with parents that actually care.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a difference.
yeah, 100%.
There's single parents and they want to wear the victim badge and go to the victim Olympics with it. There's that person.
Please, where is that happening?
The victim Olympics is online, 24/7. Tell me what you're sorry about. Tell me how bad your day is. Tell me how painful it is for you. And the reality is, you live in the land of opportunity. You can do anything you want. You can choose to be a victim, or you can choose to be a victor. The choice is yours.
100%.
There are people that have done it before you. There will be people that do it after you. So if you want to be a victim, it is your choice. There are people that they had widowed. Their father died,
Yeah,
and they figure it out.
yeah.
There's people that the father is giving them money, and they think I need more help.
That's also true.
That's also true.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
But at the end of the day, your child is your responsibility.
100%.
Whatever the outcome is for your children, it comes back to you. My mom knew she couldn't do it here. She had 3 kids. It was just her. My dad wasn't living in the house. I'll come back to that at later on, but he wasn't in the house. But because she couldn't do it all by herself, she said the best thing that I can do for you guys is to take you to Nigeria. At least there's boarding school. There will be people that will monitor you. All I have to do is pay, but you're gonna be in good hands. I have my grandmother, my mom's mom, my grandmother. She can monitor you guys as I hustle and figure my life out. Get things together. And then that happened. I have my foundation. Then I come back to the States to live with my father. Lived with him for like 5 years. Went to high school here, 1 year of high school and 2 years of college. And the one thing that I took away from my father, he's deceased now, but one thing I took away from him is his devotion to serving the Lord. This man was a true example of a person that was after God's heart. And I saw it. It's not like I heard my mom talk about it.
Yeah.
I saw him reading his Bible all the time. I saw him leading service in his church. I saw him praying, doing all these things. And today, these are the things that I do because of that example that he left me, you know? He was the type of person that was like, wake up in the morning. Once the sun is up, you should be up. Once the sun is down, you should be sleeping. You know, he instilled a lot of order in my life, discipline in my life. And this is a 16-year-old Americanized kid. If I didn't have my dad, I would have been doing something else. You know what I mean?
So what you're telling me basically is this: even though they might not have been living together, he was present in your life.
Thank you. He was present in my life. He cared. He wanted to make sure that I was in good hands. You know what I mean? At the time, I may have thought he was wicked,
Mm.
but as an adult now,
No.
with children, I thank God for him because he instilled discipline. Sometimes you have to do what you don't like to do, like you like to do it.
Yeah.
That was my dad. He said, "You don't like it? Okay,
But
you still have to do
but you
it.
still have to do
I
it."
need to know you're doing it like you like it." So he will tell me to go and be fixing his car or doing something with his car. He said, "You may not like it,
But I want you to do
I want you
it.
to do it as if you like what should I do?" Bro, I would be like, why is this man? Why? You know, typical Nigerian father. But as an adult now, the discipline that I have is all because of the seeds that my dad sowed in me
Mm.
at the little tender age. I was 15, 16-year-old young teenager, you know, in New York. I feared
Everything,
my father.
everything happening
I
here.
feared
you know?
that man so much. But you need that. You need to be afraid of someone, but you also need
Of
to
a certain
of
authority.
certain authority.
Doesn't have to be the police or because at that point it's already late.
Exactly.
If
Thank
he's
you.
already
It's
late.
already
If the
late.
police is the people you're afraid of.
Exactly.
It's already late.
And you know, like it takes a lot of self-reflection for you to appreciate those times, because in the moment you might think that, oh, all hell is breaking loose, and that why me, not knowing that God is just preparing you for
The future.
the future. You know what I mean? And I just pray that other men, and I know there are a lot of men that want to be involved in their kids' life, but the parents, the woman is just not allowing them to. But for them to figure it out, because that little presence that you may think is small, oh, it's only 2 years, it's only 3 years, but that will be the biggest difference that you can make to that child's life. And that's what I experienced firsthand.
Thank you. So what I've learned from this our conversation now is it's not because there are no role models in the US. It's not because there are no mentors in the US. Not that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I know because even at work I choose people to like be my mentors and role models and just fashion my not my career basically, but like
Your approach.
my approach around what is happening, what to
has
do.
already worked.
Yeah, this is what I'm doing. What do you think about it? You know, just people that are above you. Anyway,
Right.
just try to. So, and I also like taking up opportunities to like mentor people, like sign up for people that are just coming up, getting their first
You have
job
to give
off of
back
college.
what
You
you
know,
received.
like being there for them, and that makes what you said right, that there are opportunities to sign up for mentorship and role model and everything. But I think the problem that you highlighted is for people that don't know those programs, you as a parent, you're now competing with entertainment that is available 24 hours while you have to go to work. And my question to you is, what is the solution to that?
So the solution to that, in my view, is to pay attention to your child. Because there are some things that you will see that they always go back to. And they may spend hours of time on that one thing. And you you have to first notice it as a parent. When you notice that, then you can dig into it, do the research, and see how you can help your child explore this world more. You know, it's funny we to talk about this past weekend. Actually, this past week, I had my cousins over because my uncle went to Nigeria to do some things. He had a loss in his family and in his wife's family, and they had to go back home. And so I was blessed with the privilege of being the caretakers for my two nieces, you know. And that opportunity allowed me to basically mentor my nieces, you know what I mean? And you need to know, like, I realized that, okay, one of them, they're probably more open to reading, but the other one is more of like a hands-on type of learner. All these insights are only available if you're paying attention. So as a parent, you need to pay attention, because then when you pay attention, you can then use your energy wisely and actually introduce things that your children are interested in to help them spark that creativity and explore. You know what I mean? Explore new things. So I think that's what I would tell a parent, any person. Pay attention, bro. Your kid is interested in something.
You just need to figure it out.
You just need to figure it out.
And help them
explore.
Explore those spaces.
Explore those spaces. I'll never forget my 5th grade teacher. Because, you know, my niece, she's 11. She's in the 5th grade. And then the other one is 6. And I was telling her, like, when I was your age, you know, that was when I was introduced to the stock market. I had no clue what that was. My mom wasn't going to tell me. My dad wasn't going to tell me. They didn't know either.
Yeah.
But I had Miss Vacchio, my 5th grade teacher in a public school, said, come to class one day with a couple of newspapers. Like, what's all these newspapers for? He said, well, in each newspaper, this is the Wall Street Journal. In each newspaper, there's going to be a list of stocks that you can use to play the game that we're about to play. I said, game? What game is that?
She was creative with it.
She is creative with it. What game was that? Well, this is called the stock market game. Stock market? Where is that? What is that? So my curiosity rose from there. Introduced us to stocks, investing, made it a game, made it fun. Now, 20 years later, about 20 years later, this is my career. This is the field that I've been able to make a living in. And this is all from a person that just decided to
do something new. You know, introduce you guys.
Introduce us to this.
That is probably not even in your curriculum at that time.
It was not. It was completely her decision. She took a gamble on us. She's like, okay, I need to. I'm even curious to even interview her. If I can find her on YouTube, on Facebook, I would interview. What made you do that? Because what other way would I?
But the beauty of it is, you're doing that and you're excelling. Like, you're making a big life out of something you learned.
That introduction.
And I knew, like, I think in the previous episodes that we've had, you've told us how you now, like, went to Wall Street because of what has happened. You said, okay, if this is Wall Street Journal, I want to go to Wall Street.
Let's see what that is.
You went to Wall Street in New York, then you looked for someone and said, I want to learn how to. You like money.
Yeah.
It's the African blood.
It is. I can't lie. I can't. You know what it is? I just like making it.
Yeah.
Money itself, it's not. It's like, okay, But if I can find a way to make it with my mind,
You want to do
I
that.
want to do it. And that's what she introduced to me. She said, investing, patience. And then my mentor that I met on Wall Street, he was the one that really poured into me. He said, to play this game, you need to have patience. You need to be a people person. Integrity is everything. You're trusting, people are trusting you with your money, their money. So there's so many
Just a
things.
few minutes. By the way, if you want to learn anything about stocks, trading, investment options, and so on and so forth, just go to OG Capital.
OGCapitalLLC.com.
Just put in your details. You have someone that is going to train you.
Absolutely.
You're in good hands. Start small, start big, change your life any way you want to do it. OG Capital is there for you.
Thank you.
Please
Thank you.
continue.
That is absolutely true. That introduction changed my life, and honestly, since I've been a recipient of something like that, I want to be the person that's giving that kind of inspiration to others.
100.
You know what I mean?
100. And you know, I'm really glad we are having this discussion. It's actually answering so many questions that I might that you know have in my head, and maybe some other people too might have, and that can make us like understand what the problems really are. Because I feel like, see, I'm not saying what is happening is particular to the US alone. I'm not stereotyping it.
Got it.
It's happening everywhere in the world. It's happening in Europe. It's happening in Africa. It's just happening at different scales, which is at the rate at which it's happening. Like, I can tell you in Africa, if someone gets pregnant in high school or after high school, their kids are not making that same mistake. Maybe there are people that it has happened to. I don't know, but I've not seen. And even these days in Africa, look, people don't want to get pregnant. Nobody is even
It's
looking to
expensive.
get pregnant. Like, it is more. It is even more of, you know, people can get pregnant, but it's even more of, why do you think you deserve to put a baby in me when you're not going to marry me anyway?
Dang, that's a
What is that thing that you have to offer me that deserves you getting me pregnant, or you don't want to marry me?
Let me ask you a question.
So it's been no. I mean, so it's basically, I'm good enough to carry a child,
But not to marry?
but I'm not good enough to be your wife. And I don't know how you want to tell that to a Nigerian lady or anybody from Africa anyway. That is going to sound nice, and I think people do that here a lot. Like, like,
Well, you see, marriage here is like, it's literally a legal contract that favors the person that is more of the provider. Well, no, that does not favor the person that is the provider. That's why you find it now. A lot of us men are less inclined to get married because majority of marriages, 80% of marriages are initiated by the female. So that's because for the men, there's a lot to lose. There's not enough skin in the game for the woman. When she's pregnant, then you can, argue for, a different reason.
yeah.
But here in the States, a woman can get pregnant, give birth, free of charge. I doubt that's the case in Africa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that is the case in Africa.
Exactly.
But I don't think because it is free, that is why people are doing it.
There's an incentive. If you speed, don't you get a what do you get?
No,
A
but
speeding
but
ticket.
but that so that
So
brings
what
me back
incentive does a woman have in the States? What incentive does she have to not be a single mother? If she gets pregnant, the baby is delivered for free at the hospital. If the man is not involved, she can go to public assistance, get food stamps, housing if necessary, cash assistance if necessary, daycare assistance if necessary, diapers, wipes, baby food, WIC, milk, cheese. Listen, what? There's no answer my question.
So that got me thinking. But as I was trying to give you an answer, what that led me to is now the problem I raised at the beginning of this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kids, daughters are making the same mistake their parents made. So you wanted to make money. You looked at the situation, you AY. You looked at the situation and you said, you know, I think I can do better than government assistance. So I'm going to do more.
Bro.
So why are people not thinking that way? Why?
Let me
why?
tell you.
Why are people giving birth
Thank
because it
you
is free?
so much for asking that question. That's because in America, a lot of the people here have a victim mindset. Oh, they are doing it to me again. Oh, my mom went through it. Now it's me. Government, please come and help me. Not knowing that you are in the land of opportunity. When Kokoye, they come here, they don't know how to speak English. Spanish speaking people. They don't know how to speak English, oh. They come here, they learn how to build a house. Now we're the one paying them to fix our basement. When we are the one that's here. We are ungrateful. We are ingrates. African Americans in this country are ingrates. Why? Everything is given to you. Oh, we need to come and pick you up too? We'll come and accessorize. You need food? We'll give you food too. You need rent? If you, what do you need again? WIC, milk, we'll give it to you. Now, the working class person is competing with people that's in poverty. Because the government is just over sponsoring them, making them more dependent. Because they need to guarantee a certain number of votes. Wow. To keep them in power. So that's what I see as the biggest issue in this country. There are people that are dormant, they're sitting on their potential because they want to walk over 100 to pick up $5. Because that 100, they have to work a little bit for it. So they rather just go and pick up the $5 that's okay, that's just there, that they were gonna get anyway. The 100, they just have to put a little bit of work and they can get it though. But because of the laziness that's just so pervasive here, and you know, there's a thing that's called the victim triangle. That's what it's called, the victim triangle. Forgive me because I don't know the complete. But there's a person that gives the help, there's a person that needs the help, and there's a person that has the help. So they're constantly, everyone is saying, almost blaming each other for being different, playing different positions. But at the end of the day, it's the mindset that person has that's what's really causing them to even think as a victim to begin with. Okay. And to me, that's the difference between an African church and an African American church. African church, you will make it. This is your year of blank. Affirmation is what they are telling you. And it will ginger you to the point that you will start to, in fact, you will start climbing stuff that you say, I will make it. You start climbing things that you have no business climbing. Because they ginger you to the point where they make your spirit
this
strong.
This is you. Like you
This
have
is
to like take your life.
Take
and
your
run
life
with
and
it.
on your own. American church, we have to wait and fight for. When is your turn? You have a social? You have a birth certificate? What do you mean when is your turn? Immigrants are making it here. And they're telling you when is your turn?
I don't know what to say. Honestly speaking, I don't know what to say.
But that's the issue. You asked me the question, I'm answering your question.
It's good that you're answering me, but it's good that you're answering me, but you know. now what I'm deducing from what you're telling me is that this problem is really bigger than huge, bigger than whatever I might have at the back of my head before. Because for me, I just feel like, you know, I think I was talking to your wife, the partner, like sometimes that in my house, I'm like, why do people just get pregnant in the US? Like, it seems like there's no plan. You know, like, you just get pregnant.
Yeah.
People just get pregnant. No plan for the kids. No plan for yourself.
Oops.
No plan for your life. Oh, is that? Okay, fine. And this same set of people that are giving birth are still the one fighting for abortion rights and everything. Then I'm wondering, so what? You're fighting for something you're not using? Because if you don't want a child and you get pregnant, you can go remove it now. But if you're not removing it, so why are you fighting for it? Because I wouldn't say I'm a pro-life. But I don't want you to bring to this world a child that you will not take care of. That you will not be able to give your 100% energy.
That's the second option, bro. That's unfortunately the second option. It's just that when they grow up, then they appreciate the life. That's what we are fighting for as pro-lifers. You see, a lot of women think that their only choice is to abort the baby. Because the enemy, the other side, has done a good job of tricking them into thinking that it's not a person yet. It's just a clunk of cells. Okay, leave the cells there then, if it's just a clunk of cells. Those cells are gonna turn into an embryo. The embryo turns into a fetus. The fetus turns into a person. That's the evolution. That's how God created it.
See, I always say this. I would rather take my time to make sure nobody gets pregnant for me than leave the responsibility on the lady to take care of it.
Hold on, let me get that right. I would rather
take my time to make sure that nobody gets pregnant for me.
When you are doing your weary season, you're not thinking straight, bro.
100. This is the way I look at it. Self-discipline is important.
That's people that have dads.
Yes.
They will teach them that.
Not everybody has it. But I can imagine me as a lady. Me, I'm a lady. You do tire. You continue to do. I will not get pregnant. Are there not ways where you can prevent pregnancy as a lady?
There is.
So that is what I'm saying.
But they don't want it.
So then that is the problem, because
it's not the problem.
No, because
the problem is the fact you want it.
No, I'm saying I look at it this way and say people are fighting for abortion rights. But there are ways you can prevent the abortion in the first place.
Let me with respect rephrase what you said.
Yeah.
When you say people are fighting abortion rights, what they're fighting is accountability. That's what they're really fighting. Because abortion gives you the option of excusing yourself from accountability. And it's only the woman that has that choice. How come a man can't abort
No, we don't get pregnant. So
We do.
how do we get?
I have 2 kids. You have 2 kids too.
So did you get pregnant?
I got pregnant when she was the one carrying. I had to carry her.
Okay, you are pregnant.
But there's the fact. What I'm really going at is the fact that she can choose to not have a baby, and I can't. So I'm just supposed to sit there just like it. You know, there was a guy that was fighting her wife. The person that he got pregnant. She had an abortion without him knowing, and he wanted the baby.
Yeah, but that takes us. See, I don't want. I think we can have the whole full discussion on, and that comes to it's my body kind of.
It can be your body, but the body inside your body is his own body too.
Yeah. So the decision to keep or not to keep a baby, I believe,
Should be the woman's.
should be the woman's choice.
And we should just.
The decision to keep and not keep the baby should be the woman's choice.
So if she keeps the baby, can I unkeep the baby too?
You can. So
So
no,
they are making me a dad.
no. So this is the way I look at it. Life is not balanced.
There we go.
Life is not balanced,
It's
and
not.
this issue of is my body is not your body is what is ruining most women's life. Basically,
It's not.
it is. Do you know
How-
why? Do you
how
know
is
why?
it?
So
You don't pay for the bill.
I look at this way. I look at it this way. Someone wakes up and says, "It's your body. You can do whatever you want with it. Don't let anybody tell you what you can do with your body. This, blah 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 blah." But I look at it and say, is anybody really controlling anybody about what they should do with their body? Really? As a man, am I telling someone not to go sleep with anybody that they want to sleep with? No.
But that's not the only way to control.
It's a
the body.
choice. No.
Go ahead.
So that is one. Am I saying when you get pregnant, no, don't take up the baby? No, I'm not telling you. However, it is the responsibility of 2 people that are dating to sit down and have a plan and say, let's have a baby. Let's not have a baby. And I also feel like it is the responsibility of who is going to be more affected
By the decision.
by that decision to have the greater say in it. See,
So okay, so now tell me, who's gonna be more affected if a person is pregnant and they're not married?
they are affected in different ways. Example in the US, let's say you got someone pregnant and you did not accept the baby, and they take you to
Court.
social whatever, and they say you have to pay. You're taking a lot. They're taking a lot out of you for the money, but it's just the money anyway. Someone has to be with that child 247. Let me tell you, I'll roll it back now. Someone has to be with that child 247. Take care of the baby. You can go do whatever you want to do. Ade's life is stopped. She has to look for someone to take care of the child, to go on dates, to look for life, love somewhere else and move on with their life. Do you know where the problem now rolls back to mentorship and role models? And why their children are now making the same mistake they made? Is because you cannot eat your cake and have it. When you have a child, you don't have the same liberty as when you don't have one. But I guess people are trying to have a child and have that same liberty, then they are not parenting the way they're supposed to parent. And that is why I'm saying they should be able to say if they want to keep it or not.
So they can decide whether they should introduce more bastards into the world.
I would rather say no. I would rather say this.
Okay.
I would rather say it is good for a man and a woman to come together, and maybe even if they are not married, but they are able to be in agreement and parent rightly. And for that to happen, it has to be the decision of both of you to have the baby.
But it's not. You just said it. It's her choice to have it or not.
It is an ultimate choice to have
Alright,
it or not.
so
but
she
it is-
can-
But the
She
beginning
can
of
know
that decision.
that this guy is still living in his mom's basement. He can't afford to have a baby right now. He doesn't even have a car. He doesn't have a bicycle. But I am the woman, so I can make the decision.
No,
You can. Because
That-
the
that's
fetus
not
is
the-
growing
that's-
in you.
that is not the way I'm saying it. Yeah, according to what is
And I
obtained
decide to have the baby.
now.
So
According
now
to,
you have to figure it out.
according to what is obtained now, that is.
That's the truth.
But I'm even saying, see,
And the only way, let me finish. The only reason why that woman can say, I want to have the baby, is because she doesn't have to pay anything. In fact, they're paying her. There's no
So you-
skin in the game for her.
so you're saying there's an incentive for the bad behavior.
Yes. That's why it continues. And that's
And
why it transcends generations.
And I get that. And I 100% agree with that. That it's a whole new conversation because if we start digging this, we'll be here till tomorrow.
True.
But I think we can keep exploiting. I don't know when I'm trying to like think of something, I just look up all the time. And it's like I'm used to that.
It's good, it's good, it's cool.
So this is the way I'll look at it. Mentorship and role models. They are supposed to guide you in what is good in life, in decision makings, in doing what, in accepting what you think is right. Government is giving them incentive. Government is it's cheaper to have those babies. They are just gullible set of people. It's okay. What do you want for? Where is the place of you can do better?
There is none. That's the point.
So I will take you back now to what real Afro unity is.
Uh-huh.
This is the problem.
Yes.
Tell me the solution.
The solution is seeing. I think the solution is seeing it work out differently for another person. You know, a lot of people here, they have, those trauma bonds. Those bad stories that are associated to people that are in their circle. Don't do that, though. You're gonna date a Nigerian? You know those Nigerians, they don't take care of their children. That's what was said about me. Nigerians don't take care of their children. I'm like, where did you get this information from?
That person is dumb.
That person is stupid.
I accept.
You are a fool. And in fact, I have to show you how much of a fool you are. So, what I'm saying is, sometimes you just have to defeat the odds so that you can be a positive example for other people to follow. Myself and Kat, it wasn't a rosy, oh, I love you, you love me.
Kind of a relationship.
But we had to figure it out.
Like, and that is like, is, see, you think you just arrived at that decision. But no, you did not. It is based off of your life path and people you've met along the way. And when it got to that point of making that decision of, you are pregnant, what do we do with it? The first thing that was coming to your mind was not to go remove the baby. The first thing that was coming to your mind was, I'm going to go buy a house so that we can live comfortably.
Yes.
Am I right or right?
Absolutely.
Even when the journey wasn't that smooth, you were thinking of the child.
Best
How do I make the best
experience for the child.
for this child
That's
is coming?
innocent. That has nothing to do with our way.
At all.
Absolutely.
So that is it. So your decision was based off of the role models and the decisions you've had to make in your life.
But
you
it's
have to make in your
also,
life.
but I have to say, I would be remiss if I don't say, it also has to do with your values.
Yeah, but you are building that off of your values are built off of your life experiences and what you have decided to make with your life as
Absolutely,
well.
absolutely. But the point I'm saying is that the values have to align with the person that you're with, because she may have her own incentives, as I stated. She has her incentives. I don't have to do shit. I can have the baby. They'll give me food stamps. They'll give me a place. Well, why do I have to do any work? But if she's like that, and you are the type of person that's like, I'm thinking of getting a house. Now, there's a misalignment. You want to better yourself, and she wants to just be on the government's cow milk. And that's really the problem here. The men want to be better, but the women are not incentivized to do better. So now there's a clash. Now, if you separate from her, she's gonna run you a check every month. I'm gonna invite some men here that has had the experiences that I'm talking about. God has favored me. I haven't had that kind of toxic experience, but I know firsthand. My best friend went through this experience. I'm gonna have him talk about it himself. It's torture. When they're taking money out of your pocket before it even gets to you, all because she said she wanted to have a kid, and she's living with her grandparents. She's not living in the real world. And now, because she doesn't like the fact that you separate from her, she wants to make your life difficult. So she files for child support. You are making 90,000. Now it's after taxes 60. Then they take your own. Then they take their own 30%. And you have to live on that. Bro, there's an epidemic of situations like that. And it's because of the incentives that are misaligned.
And I have the solution to this. And you might not accept it.
What? I want to hear it. Go to DR.
And no, I mean, go to DR.
What you?
What is it?
I don't know if you want to.
What did you just say?
What's the solution?
Let me tell you
Okay.
something about me. Nobody is perfect. And you know, I might be here today claiming all saints, and I might fall tomorrow. But I make sure that when it comes to intimacy between a man and a woman, anybody I'm going to have it with, they have a bit of sense. You know, like,
No, that's a luxury.
no, I make sure that the person
That's a luxury.
I want to even like,
do anything.
they have brains, you know, like, even at least everybody has brain, but it's functioning. No, honestly speaking,
Go ahead.
even if it is, even if it's the best way to even go, like, even if you're like married, but you want to have these extracurricular activities, maybe just do it with someone that has a bit of sense, that is reasonable, that you guys can even sit down and have a
reason.
discussion.
Got it.
Honestly speaking, if you know this person is everywhere, she's a free giver.
Oh,
No, let's say no. See,
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 if
from the-
every woman comes with a
no.
Carfax, it would be different.
There's
But
no-
we don't.
I don't need the Carfax,
Okay.
but I engage people in discussions,
Okay.
and it takes time for me to
Get to that sentence.
get to that way of saying, I think this one has sense, or I
Got
think this one is just.
So I have to qualify.
If she's just there and there, you know, maybe she already has, okay, you're dealing with someone, but you know she already have two babies with two different baby daddies. Two of them that can't be that bad. Something is wrong. And if you don't know, and if you cannot deduce what is wrong, or you ask her and it's all their fault, she didn't do anything wrong. Okay, if you want to go there, you can go there. Maybe you protect yourself. I'm not saying don't go there. You can still go, but make sure you are not the third person. You know, like protect yourself. Don't. So the way you can decide to say, I want to win back this war or this discussion is when it gets to that point, when you think you want to get to that point whereby the two of you wants to go unprotected, make sure you're doing with someone that has sense. If not, you ruin your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your life is ruined.
Absolutely.
Like you will never get out of it.
Absolutely.
I have friends that I've met in this country like he just stopped working.
Damn.
He said it's not worth it anymore. Because when I work, they just take my pay.
See?
So what is left is not even.
See?
And one time he tried to get a new job somewhere, an additional job. Then she went to court and said, is there any more money now? And they reviewed it.
So you understand this
no,
struggle?
Yeah, I do.
Bro,
I
this
do.
is serious.
I'm not alien to this. I
Bro,
do. Like I have people that are close to me too that are fighting it, and this is what I keep telling people.
It's better for you to have your kid.
If you know you want to do it and you're not ready to have kids, protect yourself. Or do it with someone that has. See, let me tell you something. If you go to Nigeria, for example, a classy lady doing fine in her way, she's not desperate, she's just good. Going to work, doing what she's supposed to do. Bro, you go do tire. You just keep doing. She's not going to get pregnant for you. And I said this in the beginning.
Why
I
is
said,
that, though?
because why should you, like, so what I see is people that get pregnant for men that don't want it, that they probably doesn't also want the baby. They don't have self-worth. That is what I think. Why should if I look at myself as a babe, why should I get pregnant for you? What have you done for me?
Because you're aging out.
Yeah, well,
you're 35. That's
well,
why.
Maybe I should go and get a dog that will be doing it or something.
Then do that.
Yeah, but
shit, leave the young kids alone.
But in all honesty, the people that are doing this are not doing it because they are old. Most people that are doing this
are the young
in this
ones.
country
Yes.
are the young ones. They are not the ones that
They're
are.
not the ones.
They are not the ones that are like getting desperate.
No, yeah.
So when you go to Nigeria or you go to Kenya or you go to Ghana, a 25, 26, 22, 23 years old lady is not getting pregnant for you in most cases, especially when they're educated, if you're not marrying them.
That's true. But we'll see.
If
but
I'm
listen,
going to deteriorate my body in having kids for you, then you should get something in return.
Of course. See, now you're right. That's the first step. Like you should, like when you're. But the thing is this though. There's a lot. What you said is true. A lot of women here don't even know when their prime is, because feminism has fucked their brain up. They think they can have babies at 40, thinking that because Taraji P or whoever, all these famous people were able to get pregnant at 40, that they don't need to rush anything right now in their 20s. Not knowing that their 20s is when they should actually be trying to settle down so that by their 30s they can be at least 2 kids in.
That is the audio conversation. Because I look at it this way and say, which one do I prefer? Do I prefer someone that, see, do you know why men keep getting girls pregnant in this country and are not marrying them? It's because the women are getting pregnant.
And it's not a requirement to have sex.
So what I think what is happening is they know the guys are going to come anyway. But if the ladies stop having babies for men that are not pulling their weight, they are going to be getting married faster and faster.
Absolutely.
And so that is what is happening in Africa. You have a girlfriend for 5 years, 6 years, she will not get pregnant for you.
But she's getting older.
Yeah, so and that is so it's either so if I'm 21 and I have a boyfriend for 6 years or 4 years, I'm 24, 25 now. Yeah, but I'm 25 now, but nothing is happening. Then I move. See, if you ask me, which one do I prefer? Waste my youth or have a baby that the father will not be involved? I'd rather waste my youth than have a baby that the man will not be involved with.
So that means you didn't have an active man in your life.
No.
See, no, it does.
No, because, see, for me, having a baby is good. But I want to have it with the right person.
Sometimes you don't. Well, let me not say that. Go ahead.
I want to make sure I have it with the right person, so that nobody is taking me to court and nobody is.
So that's what determines it to be the right person.
Even to have sex with you, you need to have brain.
Of course.
No, I'm not saying just I know everybody has brain. Like for me to have sex with you,
but for you to engage my mind,
I need to be able to know that you are using your senses.
Yes.
You are using it.
But people change. That's the point.
No.
Bro, people change, especially women change.
Yeah, but someone is not going to have brain or not have brain.
The version of the woman you have when you're broke versus the version of the woman you have when you make it is different. I'm telling you this. I'm not even trying to sound like it's the fact. Yeah. Women want to be pampered.
100.
So if you're not able to do it on a sustainable way, but you introduce her to a certain lifestyle that has it early, she's gonna think that that's the way it's gonna be forever. So now when you don't have it anymore, she's gonna be like, what happened now?
So this is what I want us to do. I know we have delved into our topic of discussion, womenhood, life after death, and all those kind of topics and these are topics that I've just brewed off of what I see happening, what women are doing, what men are doing, why people need role models, and so on and so forth in their life. But if I want to take us back to it, I'll put it this way, in my own observation. There's no straight answer to anything that we might be saying, because people's preferences are different. I'm only using myself as an example. Is it true? So let me give you this example. Mm-hmm. I was having a discussion with one of my friends, and I said, airplanes tends to fly towards where continents are when they're traveling. Airplanes they fly, maybe you coming from, this is London, this is Iceland, this is the US, this is the Atlantic Ocean. They don't just fly from London straight to Atlantic Ocean. Most times they go like this. They go up, go near Canada, and maybe because of emergencies or anything, decisions that they might have to take, finding a place to just land or close to rescue. So a friend of mine now said, oh yeah, okay, I hear what you say, but planes fly from ATL to Lagos direct. I said, that is true. Even though I can look at the map deep and say, oh, there are little islands along the way, but it's faster. That route is faster. And maybe because of technology today, there's less risk. But that is an exemption. And an exemption doesn't make the rule. And if the rule is you go near where the continents are for easy routing or anything, just because one is doing something different does not turn away the 90% of things that might be true. So in anything that we might be discussing, there might be an element of truth in it. I'm not throwing it away. I'm not saying, no, your opinion is not right, or what you're thinking is not right, or what I'm saying is absolutely the best. But I'm saying this is the logic that I've used, that I've worked for me over time. And I've made sure I've made sure like even when and I talk to ladies and like just look at their mind about what do you think about this, like I've pecked pretty discussions about so when do you want to settle down, how do you see it, when do you see it, if it's just like it's a fling, so I don't need to have those kind of discussions with you.
Right.
I just protect myself.
Right.
I just make sure nobody's bringing issues to me.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is where is going to parenting.
Yeah,
It's going to decision making.
Big.
I still know we're still going to talk about what is happening in the US about Democrats and Republicans. If you ask me, do I think Democrats are always baiting black Americans during election? I say yes. I've seen it clearly now. They just bait them of hope of what you see. Because I look at it and say, you're a Democrat. You vote every time you go and vote for Democrats. And nobody could do anything about police killing black people. But every time you still go and vote for them. So what is the point? So is it that they cannot do anything about it? Or they don't want to? But I'm going to raise kids in this country. They're going to grow up being black Americans anyway. Because at that point when they are talking, they won't be talking like me. If a policeman stops me now, if I start speaking, he knows I'm not part of the He knows my English is... it happened to Diallo in New York, so who am I?
Wow, look at that.
But if you're saying, if black people in the US are saying policemen are killing black people, and you are voting for Democrats, and they cannot do anything about it, they are not doing anything about it actually. Not that they cannot. They are not, because I know they could have done one or two things. Then why do you keep voting for them? But that is not the discussion for today. We can move from one topic to the other.
Yeah,
I can go 60 topics off of what I just said. But I want us to just round up based on what this discussion started with. All these things, being a role model, being polite, having kids, valuing yourself. I believe women that are having kids without the man's involvement, they don't value themselves. They are just there. That is what I see.
I beg to differ.
I feel like, see, no, let me put it this way. Women that are having kids, that the man is not involved in those children, they don't value themselves. I'm not saying get married. I'm not saying you must be married to have kids. I'm saying when you decide to have a kid, that the man is not willing to accept, you don't value yourself, because you're just having kids for someone that doesn't even want you in the first place, let alone what you're bringing forth.
So if, let's say she valued herself and she kept it, what would you say that?
No, if she values herself, she won't keep it. She won't even get pregnant in the first place.
See, that's where I differ.
If she values herself, she won't even get pregnant in the first place.
But see, the thing is this though. You see, I get it. But the thing is this though, like, man, we can go in about this.
We can go on and on, but I don't want us to keep going. So let's do it this way. So, to close on, I think what I've learned from what we did today is that the discussions we have not even touched. They're big. And the responses are probably not limited to us alone.
They're not. And I don't even want to speak, because there are a lot of men. I don't have an idea what it feels like. Fortunately, me and my wife, we're together. We have our 2 kids. We're trying to figure it out. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
But we're working on it. There are men that have experienced what we just said about, separation and dealing with that.
Yeah.
And they will be more equipped with addressing this type of question than me.
Nobody's feeling is thrown away. Right. And if you're watching us today and you have an experience you want to share with us, please just send us a mail,
Please.
info@afrounity.com. Please. Just send us a mail. 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 Just send us we have you right here, sitting beside us.
Or
and
we can conference you in.
because I look at it and say, is the problem lack of role models? Is the problem men not picking up their responsibilities? Or is the problem women making it difficult for men to take responsibilities for what they have done? This has opened a whole lot of other discussions, honestly speaking,
Yeah.
from my own perspective. But I think it's good. We are not going to get to that final conclusion today or next week
Yeah.
or in 1 year's time.
This is an ongoing conversation.
But I think this is a good start.
Yeah, absolutely.
And today I have learned, though I know, that people are not picking up mentors just because they don't want to, not because it's not available. Or they're choosing the wrong ones that are not, and that leads to the way people are perceiving Black Americans everywhere in this world.
Exactly. And that's what we're trying to address with this episode. Because it all stems from there. You know, the nuclear family is a real important aspect of building a community. If you don't have families, you won't have communities. And if you don't have communities, you won't have a voice. And so us talking about this, let's really get to the bottom of the problem so that we can come together on the solution. This way we can have a voice and we can then make impact as a collective. But if we're all fragmented and we all have different ideas and different thoughts and different reasons, they're going to use that to play into our differences, and we'll never be able to come together and unite. Remember, this is the real Afro unity. The whole point of this is to unite together. I'm not saying that I know all the answers. Daring is not saying that he knows all the answers.
Nope.
But the point is that we need to talk about it because this shit is crazy. And this is coming from an immigrant's perspective. Like, yo, y'all look crazy. Y'all gotta go on TV to know who the father is? You don't know who
that is a awful
bro,
episode.
you don't know who the dad is? That's a problem, bro. That's a big fucking problem. And if you can't admit that it is, then you're basically where the enemy wants you. You're in denial. And there's nothing good that comes from being in denial. So we have to wake up, address the truth, and make some changes.
And on that note, I say thank you for watching.
Absolutely.
Subscribe to this channel because we have, if I tell you what is in my mind,
So many more.
I can't even explain.
So many more.
But watch out from next week or the next upload for our African Afrobeat.
Throwback.
Don't worry, I'll do that next time. Don't worry,
The
we'll do that.
throwback.
The throwback. You know,
We're going to go back to how it started.
let's go back to before Burna Boy. You know,
Facts.
before Wizkid, before Davido.
Davido.
Who are the artists? What was this? What was the sound
Who was
like?
the sound
You know, what were people listening to? The groups, you know, that started back then, they broke up and so on and so
P-Square.
forth, you know. Have you heard of the Remedies before? The group Remedies.
Oh, wow. I have not.
Have you heard of Rugged and Raw before?
No,
Did you know the Plantation Boys?
I knew them.
You knew
That
them.
was Two Faces group.
Yeah. So, you know, I want to take that story from when Kenny's Music signed probably the biggest artist in Africa
Wow.
and how those groups started splitting into individual artists, collaborating and moving to what we have to today. It's a whole series
Dope.
on its
And
own.
then I hope we
It's a
can
whole series
touch
on its own.
on the Mobad situation and his alignment with the wrong crew and how that led to his demise.
I mean, I have my own
You
opinion
remember?
regarding that,
We want to know.
but by the time I'll be addressing Mobad's death, probably it should be in the next 2 years when I look at what I have in
Oh,
my head.
wow.
But
Wow.
it doesn't mean we cannot talk about current artists.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
think we
mean
should
cannot-
make a room for it
Yeah,
because there's some people that know about him and they were big fans, and they don't really know the music scene in Nigeria, and they see that that's like every promising the Green. I remember that some
Oh,
stupid
my
car
God.
accident just
Yeah,
took him
yeah.
out, but he was such a promising artist. Then Mobad, this dumb situation happens. Like, what's going on? Like,
Just stay tuned. We're gonna be bringing you
yeah,
all
we're
these
gonna
topics,
bring all the heat, all the heat,
all
all
these
the heat is
topics
coming.
and everything. And on this note, I say, ciao.
Salute.
See you later.
See you guys later.
Wow, that was a good one.